On the behalf of Indian Green Building Council, I hope you must have heard about IGBC, which is now India's big rating agency and which is promoting green building movement across the country from 2001. I would say that when I was listening my previous speaker, Nilesh ji, I think he spoke about why we need green buildings. So it is not the option now. He clearly mentioned that every building now has to be green. It must be green. So I think he put importance in a very serious manner. I think so all of us should know the fact green building is must. Not doing green is really stupid. And similarly, I think my friend architect Roshni, who just talked about the challenges when we spoke about climate change, global warming. She mentioned about sustainable development goals. I think all these challenges when she was presenting, and she also presented, the why we need sustainable built environment and what is the role of green building movement actually to tackle this issue. So Indian Green Building Council, because when I'm coming to the topic of cost, which was given to me about green building cost perception, I would just take just 2 minutes for presenting what IGBC is and what IGBC is about and what we are doing across the country in spreading this movement. And so I will come to the specific topic directly. IGBC is, it's a part of CII, Confederation of Indian Industry. And this is the building you can see in the slide, which is in Hyderabad. And this is India's first platinum rated green building, which is called to be as now IGBC headquarters. So this is India's first green building actually. And it was inaugurated by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam in the 2004. And now let me tell you that the greenest building of India has also become net zero energy platinum building. So that itself, specified that charity begins at home. When you preach some things, but you basically follow the same principles. So I think that really matters and that really attracts more stakeholders and become an inspiration for everyone. So IGBC basically is spreading this movement with a vision that by 2025, IGBC wants to become the global leaders in the world. And it is India's first green building certification body. This is what I would like to mention that also from this forum. And IGBC is also the word GBC, which is basically, it's a forum of 70 countries where IGBC plays the role of as a founding member. And this is the only one council in the world, which is representing India in the word GBC. And most of the representatives of IGBC are also, chairing for this Asia Pacific network of word GBC. So having the movement of this green building in our country, if you see this particular slide, so you will see that this movement was started in 2001. There was only one building in the country, which the size of that building was just 20,000 square feet. But today it is 8.17 billion square feet, which itself is a huge number, and I think this shows us this positive side of aspect, how the stakeholders are adopting now green building and they want to make new buildings and they want to convert their existing buildings also into green. So I think Rome was not built in a day, but where we have reached today, that is also, the commendable job by all the certification bodies, I would say, maybe GRIHA, LEED and IGBC together. So I think we have reached to that point. At least it is now striking among the stakeholders that we should go for green. Being a developer, I should design green. I should develop, green building. Being an architect, I should design green. So I think those sort of awareness is there now. So we are not standing just on the very scratch stage now. And I think when Mr. Nilesh was talking about the definition of green, so definitely when just he used a word that why we can't design the building which consume less water, which optimize energy efficiency, and which optimize all the natural resources. I think this was such a beautiful terminology he just used today, that why can't we design that? Why can't we have that? So I think then your problem is solved when you design the building which has all these things inbuilt as a sustainability element, in the designing itself. So I think your 70-80 percent problem is already resolved because your design is green basically. Then you need to just look into some external development and other aspects and just green supply chain, etc. The material procurement, embodied energy. So definitely we can work on those issues then. So designing a green building plays a very important role, and I think rediscovery of Indian ethos, when we combine it with the green building, I think it is easy to understand for a common man. Because everyone just asks you what is green building, because both buildings look similar from the outside. If you look at a conventional building, on one side one is a green building. But how we differentiate that? Because when we look into these 5 elements of Panchbhutas, so they work in a very, I would say, harmony with each other. So we are creating a balance among these Panchbhutas when it is a green building. But when it is a conventional design buildings, so there is no balance, there is no synergy with the Panchbhutas. So that's the difference only for a common man understanding. So when we talk about Prithvi, Jal, Agni, Vayu, Akash, I think all these elements are giving clear-cut insight about the green principles to design a building green. So I think these are the rating systems because I'm representing IGBC. So I definitely would like to showcase all these 30 rating systems in India which are available. Let me tell you, friends, one kind of standard when we found that it was not sufficient to adopt in one typology of building. So then I think IGBC has given a very good, I would say, thought process on this particular aspect that we should have different rating because every building itself it's a different case. When it is a residential, it is a different case. When it is an existing building, it is a different. When it is a commercial, it can be a temple, it can be any religious place, it can be an infrastructure project. So I think these rating systems are not just a checklist, which I think Nilesh ji also mentioned that, some people think that, oh, this is just a checklist, yes or no. Let me tell you, it's not like this. It is a very holistic approach. When we look into the design intervention from the planning level, where your architect, your MEP consultant, your structural consultant, your landscape consultant, they work together. They work together with the integrated approach. Then we are looking into the intervention in the design to make it synergize with the green building principles. And then also, story doesn't stop there. Let me tell you, after that, we also look into the green supply chain management in a green building. Because people just feel design, it's fine on the paper. But finally, when it comes to the execution, when finally it comes to the purchase process, so it really matters how effective your purchase process is, the material you are purchasing. So I think your green supply chain plays a very important role here. So your demand of green product, your supply of green product, how to balance that. I think Nilesh ji has very well described that. I'll also just correlate with the cost issues in next slides. And then apart from the green supply chain, I think the most important part which we generally neglect, I'll tell you in India specifically, which is green construction management. Where, when we look into the CO2 emission, we talk about the social endeavors like labor, health, safety. So all these issues, including your biodiversity of your site, like how many trees are there, what kind of water bodies are there, what kind of soil quality is there, what kind of hydrology is there. I think all these aspects in respect to construction management plays a very important role in making a building green. So it is not just the design and planning. Let me tell you, it's about green supply chain, which I had already mentioned. Then it comes to the construction management also. Because if your construction management is also not effective, then I don't think your building is really green. So 3 components, please, very important, which I had mentioned. So all those rating systems, when you look into these SOPs and standards, so each and every standard had defined and indicated all these aspects of purchase, all these aspects of material and resources, all the aspects of construction management are well defined in the tools. So these rating systems are not just checklists. They are basically helping you to define a path. So what to do, how much you need to do. So this is what you can be very specific to the green building principles in adopting this rating in your particular projects. So one thing which I would like to also mention here When we talk about any green building, so it's a combination of all the codes and standards which are available at national level and which are also available the local bylaws at your state level. So they may be your local development control rules, they may be your environmental local regulations, they may be your national building code or ECBC code or another international standard which you are basically defining in your project design. And I think understanding of these standards very well addressed in all the rating systems in our country. This is what the beauty of this rating system is, because generally I'll tell you, which is my personal experience, I generally see that we really need a lot of awareness and capacity building programs in understanding of these codes and bylaws, because I have been to taken a lecture in some architecture colleges engineering. So I really feel sometimes the students, when they are not aware with the codes. So this is what the area where we need to work on still. So friends, as Dr. Roshni has just mentioned about COP26, and she also talked about the SDG goals. So let me tell you, when we talk about importance of these 17 SDG goals, so if you look into the green building, I'll tell you, green building helps you to implement these SDG goals at your project level and at your corporate organization level also for your other environmental obligations, to look into these 9 aspects which are very well addressed in the green building. Suppose I'm a developer and I want to do environmental sustainability goals. I want to define for my financial obligations. Suppose I'm taking funding from an investor. So I need to have ESG compliance now. I don't know how many of you are aware, but this is the need, today's hot topic now also nowadays, which is environment and social and governance. So these three particular component, very much connected to these SDG goals. So how do you address these 17 goals in your business operation, I would say all the business aspects? So nowadays, every stakeholder has to they must do some sustainability commitment to the stakeholders and investors, where this green building is helping, because it addresses 7 components of those SDG goals. So now I'm coming to very, very important aspect where you talk to a builder. So first thing he will ask, oh, my building, when it is a green building, does it cost more? How much I need to pay extra? Then I will go for certification program. So I think this is a very common question from everybody, because this is the first question. They say, what is the cost level, like 2%, 3%, 5%, like that? So let me tell you, friends, it depends upon the green features you are already incorporating in the design itself. Like well said by Nilesh Gandhi ji, if you look into your landscape aspect very well in the planning itself, I think you are addressing 20 or 30% of the green component with the landscape design itself, in the planning itself. So what cost we are talking about then? So it depends how strong your design is. So first thing is you control your cost in the planning itself. And also let me tell you, the operational savings, they basically offset your incremental cost if it is there. So now if you see this table, I'll tell you the past history. When this green building movement was started in India, you see that 18% cost was there, that time incremental cost was there in 2003. But you can see that how gradually that is decreasing. And that is decreasing why? We should understand that. One thing is that because the local bylaws, your environmental MOEF bylaws, your development control rules, they all, I will not use the word insisting, but I would say they are educating, they are inspiring to use these green features or sustainability feature as a part of your design and planning itself. I think that is helping us not only to take the environmental regulations or environmental clearances easily, but also making our design more efficient, more sustainable in terms of design, and so that your cost is an integral part of the design. For example, Dr. Roshni just mentioned that why we need rainwater harvesting. So when you look into the local bylaws and DCRs, so nowadays even for the 400 square meter plot, you need rainwater harvesting. If you have a building where you have a built-up area which is more than 2 lakh square feet, you must have STP. So you need to have a STP in place, otherwise you will not get OC. Similarly, if you go for MOEF clearance, you need to have 20 or 25% of the solar energy need to be used for your building or project to optimize the energy consumption. Even the government is also encouraging through their DCR and bylaws to use the sustainable materials. Even the water fixtures, when Nileshji was talking about, I'll tell you now, if you look into the Central Pollution Control Board norms, local pollution control board norms, they also encourage you to use low flow fixtures. So finally, it helps us. So when you design, you think, you minimize the risk, legal risk also in the design, and you understand all the legal compliances in order to understand whether how to build, what to purchase. I think there is a little chance then you cannot define that this is the additional cost of green and this is the cost of conventional design. And also, if you look into some of the, these are the case studies, I'll tell you, some of the projects you can see, and there was an incremental cost in 2014, you can say 3%, then in some project it was 1%. So it is also case to case, because when you have a MOEF clearance, let me tell you, easily you can get, I think, up to gold rating. You don't need to spend extra cost. Even in Maharashtra, when we, in some of the states, I think government is encouraging your electric vehicle policy, EV charging stations. And even the government also has started to provide incentive to the EV charging vehicles also. So these are very small things, even for managing your waste, for converting your waste into biodegradable waste into compost. Some of the societies are getting incentive, property tax rebate in some of the states. I think these small things in your operation, in your design, when you look into these aspects, holistically, I think you cannot define separate cost of green. So green is not a separate part. It is an integral part of your planning and estimation and cost. And now let's come to the fiscal benefits. So you can see from this slide that starting from Punjab, Rajasthan, West Bengal, Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, Himachal Pradesh, I belong to this place, then Jharkhand, Haryana, Gujarat, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, in almost, the state builders are getting this benefit because they are getting 7% extra FSI on the base FSI, which was allotted to them for the platinum rated or 5-star rated project. Then for 5% for the gold rated or 4-star or 3-star rated, like that. And 3% for the silver rating or minimum 3-star rating of BRIHA. So these kind of incentives and benefits are already in place. It means our bylaws are also complementing this entire approach of sensitizing stakeholders by encouraging through incentives or fiscal benefits. So that's happening. Now it's not like that you are not getting benefit, but instead of benefit, I think you should think more consciously whether it is my responsibility also. But I know that some of the builder, not some of the, but majority of the stakeholders and developer industry, if you have an incentive, so they have much interest doing so in the green building sector. So I can't deny that fact from this forum. Yes, there are some developers who do these green building programs voluntarily also, because they have ESG obligations. They have some financial obligations to follow the sustainability concept. I'm talking about the big brands of developer and corporate companies here. So basically, if you look into the ecosystem of IGBC, where the cost, we are talking about the cost escalation, I think the biggest impact we are experiencing now because of the cost of the product. Because, initially when I'm going for a product which is green certified or which is eco-label, so, even the vendors were telling me, I'm selling this product in 2% extra cost, 3% extra cost. But nowadays, it's not like that. If you are using this green certified glass for your building facade, I can tell you there are glasses, they are having the same price, only you need to understand the specification of the glass. This is what the people are lacking the knowledge. I'm telling you, that's what there is no, because, I used to argue these things when, somebody comes to me, they say, madam, I want to use green glass, but my vendor is saying that I need to pay this much of extra cost. Sometimes people manipulate this thing, but this is not the case now. It is only the matter of selection of the material, what kind of expertise you use to understand what is good for you, what is cost efficient also, and what is resource efficient also. Because I'll tell you the reason. Nowadays, even the affordable projects also going green. If this is the case, like if you are thinking that products used for the green building projects, they are expensive, then how affordable project can get green certification? We have done so many affordable projects where you have a certification standard by IGBC Kriya, where basically you have a compliance of green. So you have a specification for green particular products there. So it is only the matter of selection of green products. So it is not always, the cost. So sometimes it is the interpretation in the market or manipulation by the people. So please understand, green doesn't cost you. But in fact, if you do it strategically, you can reduce the cost also in the planning itself. And also, when you look into the green product, green certified product, which Griha also has, IGBC also has, I think this solve your problem because you are using green product where the cost is reduced drastically in the green building sector because of the demand and supply impact now. Because when the many people are making more green building projects, the demand of product is increasing, the cost is getting reduced drastically. And also the availability of green product in the market, which really matters. Because you can see we have more than 4,000 products which are green certified. Even starting from your cement, your ready-mix concrete, construction aggregate, you get even steel. Every product is a green certified. So you don't need too much of exhaustive exercise. You have a directory available on the certification body website, you can choose that. So that, solve your problem of cost initially also in the planning itself. So I think these are just the basic slides where I think I don't want to talk too much about that. So with this, I would like to end my presentation that it's a negligible incremental cost in the commercial building only if you are using renewable energy. And that can be also compensated with the green tariff on-site and off-site tariff policies. So that's what you can recover that green energy cost also in those green buildings. If it is a commercial, by captive use also. So I think in green homes and residential building, affordable residential, there is a hardly additional cost in the green building projects now. This is what I wanted to emphasize and remove these myths and realities from the mindset of the people. So please adopt green principles, put it in the design, do proper construction management, use sustainable practices, and measure and monitor the performance of your building. At the end, you will get the beautiful product, which is more environment friendly and sustainable for a better tomorrow. Thank you so much.